I never imagined that standing up for myself at work would change everything. For years, I worked under a boss who thrived on stealing ideas, taking credit for my projects, and making me feel invisible. Every presentation, every report, every small accomplishment I poured my heart into somehow ended up as his glory. I thought I could survive it quietly, keep my head down, and hope he'd eventually notice my efforts. But one fateful week, everything spiraled out of control, and karma came knocking in the most spectacular way. By the end of this story, you'll see how someone who seemed untouchable finally got what was coming to them, and why patience and resilience can sometimes be the most powerful tools against betrayal. I had just been promoted to a mid-level position at a growing marketing company, excited to finally make a mark. My boss, Mr. Caldwell, seemed charming at first, encouraging, attentive, always giving me small opportunities to lead projects. I thought I'd hit the jackpot. It didn't take long for his true colors to show. During my first big project, I spent weeks designing a campaign that I believed could boost client engagement significantly. I meticulously prepared the proposal, researched competitors, and even stayed late to create visuals and strategy decks. The day of the presentation arrived. I was nervous, but confident. I opened the slides, ready to explain every idea. But halfway through, Mr. Caldwell took over, speaking confidently, making my concepts sound like they were his own. I tried to interject politely, but he brushed me off. By the end, the client was thrilled, and my boss took all the praise. I felt crushed, but I told myself, it's okay. Next time, I'll make it even better. I didn't realize that this pattern would repeat itself over and over for months. Every time I tried to shine, he found a way to step in and claim my work. As weeks turned into months, the situation worsened. Mr. Caldwell didn't just take my ideas, he started manipulating others in the office to support him. He'd casually mention my strategies as if they were his own during meetings, and he even went so far as to exclude me from team discussions. I felt powerless. I confided in a few colleagues, hoping for advice, but most were too intimidated by him to speak up. Some even warned me that challenging him could cost me my job. My confidence eroded, and the stress started affecting my work and personal life. One day, I discovered something that shocked me. While reviewing an internal email thread, I realized Mr. Caldwell had been sending my work to upper management before I could even present it, claiming he had finalized the project. Every recognition, every potential bonus, every opportunity to advance was slipping through my fingers because of his greed. I debated whether I should confront him directly. Part of me wanted to yell, to expose him in front of everyone, but I also feared retaliation. Instead, I decided to quietly document everything. I saved emails, recorded meeting notes, and kept detailed copies of my work. Little did I know, this quiet preparation would become the key to the most satisfying karmic moment of my career. As the months went on, my frustration grew. I had ideas for major client campaigns, presentations that could have earned my company thousands of dollars, and yet, each time I shared them, he found a way to take credit. My team started whispering about him behind closed doors, but no one dared confront him directly. The breaking point came during a major pitch for a high-profile client. I had spent weeks designing a strategy that I believed could secure the account and elevate the company's reputation. The night before the pitch, I went over my notes, rehearsed my talking points, and felt prepared. The next day, in the conference room filled with clients, I began presenting. Everything went smoothly, until Mr. Caldwell interrupted me halfway through. He started rephrasing my ideas, embellishing the results, and taking ownership in front of the client. I felt my heart sink. But here's the thing. This time, something unexpected happened. One of the clients, an observant executive, noticed the shift in presentation style. After the meeting, they privately mentioned to me that my creativity and preparation were what really impressed them, not my boss. They had noticed my voice, my phrasing, and the unique approach I brought. For the first time, I realized that stealing my ideas wasn't going to be enough to outshine me. Karma had quietly begun its work. Over the next few weeks, I continued quietly documenting everything: emails, drafts, presentations. Every detail proved that the work was mine. I decided it was time to bring this evidence to HR. I knew HR might initially hesitate. Mr. Caldwell had been with the company for years and had built a reputation for results. But the proof was irrefutable. I presented the full timeline, project proposals, drafts, and emails showing that he had consistently claimed my work as his own. HR was stunned. They had heard whispers of his behavior but had no concrete evidence until now. Within days, an internal investigation began. Mr. Caldwell tried to charm his way out of it, but it was too late. The documentation left him with no room to maneuver. Meanwhile, clients who had noticed my contribution personally reached out, praising my work and expressing interest in working directly with me. Suddenly, I had leverage I never imagined I'd have. Karma was not only catching up with him, it was rewarding me for my patience and diligence. The final act came during a company-wide meeting. HR announced that Mr. Caldwell would be placed on probation and stripped of certain managerial privileges. His attempts to charm colleagues and upper management failed miserably. His reputation, built on stolen credit and manipulation, began to crumble. Meanwhile, I was offered a promotion, not because I demanded it, but because my work spoke for itself. My colleagues, who had once avoided confronting him, now respected my resilience and professionalism. I learned that karma isn't always instant, but it is inevitable when arrogance and greed are involved. Mr. Caldwell eventually left the company after a few months. I don't take pleasure in his misfortune, but I do appreciate that justice, in one form or another, found its way. It was a lesson that integrity, hard work, and patience can overcome even the most toxic individuals. Looking back, I realized that the months of frustration, stress, and sleepless nights were preparing me for this moment. Karma wasn't about revenge. It was about the natural consequences of his actions. If you've ever worked under a boss who undermines you, remember this: document your work, stay professional, and focus on doing your best. The universe has a way of balancing the scales, and sometimes, patience is the most powerful weapon you can wield. For anyone watching, this is more than a story about a greedy boss. It's a reminder that hard work, integrity, and resilience never go unnoticed, even if it feels like they are. Karma has a funny way of rewarding those who stay true to themselves. If you've ever experienced betrayal, unfair treatment, or toxic behavior, hit the like button to show solidarity. Comment below with your story. I'd love to hear how karma worked, or didn't, in your life. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a story where justice is served.